Hi, I'm Lori with Dragonfly Fitness. Today I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite exercise tools, the TRX. It's what we call a suspension trainer. Now mine's anchored in the ceiling, but you can also anchor it to a door or take it outside and anchor it just about any place. With the TRX, you are always engaging your core along with the muscles involved in the move that you're doing. So I'm going to show you today the foundational moves of TRX that will give you a total body workout. So let's get started. Now a little bit of basic information before we get started. First of all, with the TRX, we refer to the point where it is anchored at the top as the anchor point. And so your body is going to be positioned in a certain way in reference to that anchor point. So you may be either facing the anchor like this. You may be facing away from the anchor, like this, or you may be perpendicular to the anchor, which would be your shoulder is lined up with the anchor point. Now the straps are adjustable, and most of the time, for most exercises, we have the straps set at the midpoint, and there is a mark on the TRX where it changes color, and that tells you what the midpoint is, but they're very easy to adjust, up, down, very easy to adjust. And finally, perhaps most importantly, the position of your body, the angle of your body to the anchor point is going to determine what makes it harder or easier. And it's really all based on that principle of levers, but in TRX speak we call that the vector. So if I'm standing here and I'm going to be doing a low row, which I'm going to show you first, I'm standing pretty much upright. If I go back and forward, I don't have much of an angle to the anchor point. But if I move my feet closer and then come back, now I've really got a deep angle to that anchor point. A much longer lever, which makes it a lot harder. So those are the basic points. Now let's get into the exercises. We're going to start with a hip hinge. Straps are at mid-length, facing the anchor, hinging at the hips, and coming back up, feeling a stretch in the hamstring. It's really important when we warm up that we move dynamically through stretches. We don't want to do any kind of a static stretch where we're just holding the stretch. We're looking to warm up the muscles and gently lengthen them. So we're going to do about 12 to 15 forward hinges. And a couple more. And done. Now we're going to come around and warm up the chest a little bit and the legs. So facing away from the anchor, hands out in front. We're going to step forward into a little lunge, pulling the arms back. Just letting those straps pull the arms back, opening up the chest. Keep it going, little lunge. And let's do one more of these. And now we're going to move on to a little side-to-side lunge, continuing to warm up the legs. Stepping wide, toes out at a diagonal, bend to one side and to the other, feeling a good stretch in the long leg, inside of the long leg. Be sure to keep the knee behind the toe when it's bent by pressing the hips back. Side to side lunge here. The arms relaxed. Hands are just for balance. Couple more each side. And up. Now one last move to really jack that heart rate up. A squat jump. Hands are going to be down. Feet shoulder width. Squat down. Press up. Press. Press. Go. 7, 8, 9, 10. And done. That should really get you warmed up. You're ready for your TRX workout. The first move I'm going to show you is the row. Now this is a classic TRX move. The great thing about TRX is that you determine the level of difficulty based on the angle of your body to the anchor point. So I'm going to adjust my feet so that the feet are a little bit closer to the anchor point. I've got the handles in my hands. I'm extending back and pinching my shoulder blades together to come up into what we call this low row. So pinching, shoulders back and down. My body is in a plank, meaning my core is fully engaged. Head and neck aligned. Pinching my shoulder blades. And that is the TRX low row. For our next move, we're going to do a chest press. So this time I'm going to be facing away from the anchor. Palms are facing down. Hands are out, straight out in front, a little bit wider than the shoulders. And what we're going to do here is just basically a push-up. So I'm coming up on my toes just a little bit, coming forward and pushing away, just as if I'm doing a push-up in the air. And like all things TRX, the angle of my body to the anchor point determines how hard it is. So that's one particular angle. I'm going to step closer to the anchor point. Now I've got an even deeper angle, and this makes it much harder, more challenging. See how my hands stay in the same line. I'm engaging my chest muscles, doing this push-up or chest press. The TRX Tricep Extension or Tricep Press is probably one of the most effective exercises for the triceps, the back of the arms. So to do the tricep press, I'm going to again stand facing away from the anchor, bring my hands together, elbows tight, and bend at the elbows and press away. I'm keeping my elbows tight like there's a roll of paper towels that I'm holding between my elbows. Pressing and extending. Again, the angle of the body determines how hard it is. After a few of these, you will feel your triceps start to burn. And that's your tricep extension. The great thing about TRX, as I've been saying, is that you can work any muscle group. And so now I'm going to show you a bicep curl. Again, the angle of your body to the anchor point determines how hard it is. So I'm going to adjust my feet. My palms are up. Lift my arms. Extend and curl. You can hear those handles rotating. Shoulders are down. I'm isolating my biceps, making a muscle. Curling up here, bicep curl. And done. That's the bicep curl. Now, even though you're working your core the whole time when you're doing TRX, There are a few moves that are designed specifically to target your core. So this first one is called a standing rollout. So I'm going to stand, again, facing away from the anchor, starting with my hands overhead and close together, keeping the body in a plank. Then I'm just going to fall forward and then engage the core to pull back. Falling out, coming back. You can also do this from your knees if this one is a little bit too challenging. But you're really engaging the core when you're pulling yourself back up to standing. And pull. And pull. Body is in a plank as always. And pull. That's the standing rollout. Now let's move on to some leg exercises. And we're going to start with a basic squat. Now in TRX, when we do a squat, we come way down low. So I'm starting with my hands at elbows at 90-degree bend. Feet are a little bit wider than hip width. I'm going to come all the way down and up, using my leg muscles as much as possible. The handles are just for balance. All the way down, pressing up. The beauty of this is it lets you do a perfect squat without having to worry about balance. A couple more. And there you have the squat. Next move for legs is a reverse lunge. So again, holding the handles, arms are at a 90-degree bend, facing the anchor. Then we're going to step back with one leg to a nice tall lunge, alternating legs. If you can get down there, tap the knee to the floor, keeping the torso nice and tall. Again, handles and straps are just for balance. You're engaging your core the whole time. Reverse lunge. Now we're going to move on to hamstrings. So once again, facing the anchor, we're going to do all the repetitions on one leg and then switch to the other side. So keeping a slight bend in that stationary leg, we're going to hinge forward at the hip and back up. The movement comes from the hip, just a slight bend in the knee, and you're engaging your core to keep your balance. As an added challenge, you can take the leg back and bring it up to a high knee and extend. So some additional work for quads, hip flexors, and core. Or you can stick to just the plain old hinge. And that's the hip hinge. One last move that isolates the core with the TRX is going to isolate the obliques, which are on the sides, the side abdominals. So this is like a standing side bend. So I'm going to hold the handles overhead, straight overhead. Again, I'm perpendicular to the anchor point now. And then I'm going to fall out to the side and pull up. This is working the obliques on the outside, right here at the side that's opposite the anchor. Pulling up, working it. Whew! These are tough. Couple more. And then we would turn around and switch sides. And that's it. That's your introduction to TRX. I hope this gets you interested in trying it out for yourself. Now, if you'd like to learn more, just drop me a note in the comments section below or reach out to me through my website at dragonfly-fitness.com. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, or leave a comment. For more videos like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. Also, check out my blog at dragonfly-fitness.com for articles on wellness, exercise, nutrition, and more.